I stopped measuring my marriage in love a long time ago. Now I measure it in hours my husband disappears, and how much of me disappears with him. My name is Maya. I'm 36, and I don't think people realize how quiet burnout is when it happens inside a home. There's no dramatic moment, no single fight that changes everything. It's just repetition. The same small things, over and over again, until one day you realize you're not living a life, you're managing it alone. Mornings don't start gently here. They never have. My son Leo, 3 years old, cries before the sun is fully up. It's not a gentle wake up, it's immediate, urgent, the kind that pulls you out of sleep like you're being dragged. I'm up before I'm conscious, already moving toward his room. Mommy, he says, arms reaching. I'm here, I whisper, even though I always am. I scoop him up, his warm little body curling into mine, and start the morning routine. Diaper, bathroom, milk, something small to hold him over. The apartment is quiet in that heavy, familiar way. Except for one thing. The bathroom fan, the shower running, the door locked. My husband Derek, 36, is already in there. There was a time I used to knock, softly at first. Hey, can you hurry? I need help with Leo. Then a little louder. Then frustrated. I don't knock anymore, because knocking implies someone is going to respond. I go in the kitchen, cracking eggs one-handed while Leo clings to my leg. I cut fruit into tiny, careful pieces. Pour milk into the cup he likes. The blue one, not the green one, or he'll cry. I haven't brushed my hair. I'm still in the oversized t-shirt I slept in. There's something sticky on my sleeve. The bathroom door opens. Steam drifts out like a reveal. Derek walks out fresh, clean, put together, hair done, skin smelling like soap and something minty. He looks like a man starting his day. He kisses Leo's head. Morning, buddy. Leo smiles. Derek pours himself coffee, sits down. I'm still standing, still moving, still mid-task. He doesn't notice. Or maybe he does. I don't know which is worse. Time compresses. Leo needs to be dressed. Teeth brushed. Bag packed. Shoes found. The right shoes, not the ones he suddenly hates today. I move fast now, heart already racing ahead to work, to the emails I haven't answered, to the meeting I'm going to be late for. Again. Derek stands up, stretches slightly, glances toward the hallway. Gotta go again. And just like that, he disappears. The bathroom door closes. The lock clicks. The fan starts again. I don't even look up now. I pull Leo's shirt over his head while he squirms and laughs like it's a game. I search for his missing sock with one hand while packing his lunch with the other. I check the time and feel that familiar spike of panic. Late. Again. The evening is worse. It always is. Around 6 p.m. Leo is tired in that fragile, unpredictable way. One wrong word away from tears. He needs patience, attention, someone fully there. I'm in the bathroom with him, testing the water temperature, laying out towels, already bracing myself. Derek is on the couch. I'll be right there, he said. I nod. I didn't say anything. I've learned what right there means. The water is getting cold. Leo is splashing too hard. I'm trying to keep him from slipping, from crying, from turning this into a meltdown. No Derek. 6:35 p.m. I dry Leo off, wrapping him in the towel, kissing his damp hair when he starts to fuss. No Derek. Around 6:50 p.m. Pajamas, toothpaste, storytime negotiations. The same book, again and again. Leo is finally calm. I read softly, my voice slower now, my body aching in places I don't even register anymore. Around 7:15 p.m. The bathroom door opened. Right on time. Derek walked out, relaxed, clean again, like he's just reset himself. Like the day hasn't touched him. Is he down? He asked. I nodded. He walked in, kissed Leo's forehead, whispers, "Good night, buddy." Leo is already asleep. Derek turns the light off and walks out. His part is done. I sit there for a moment after. In the quiet, my shoulders feel like stone. My stomach is hollow. I haven't eaten. My head is buzzing with everything still left to do. And somewhere in the back of my mind, the math starts again. Morning, 1 hour. Midday, another. Evening, one more. 3 hours a day. 3 hours where I am alone in a marriage that's supposed to be shared. 3 hours where I am not a partner, just the default parent, the system, the one who doesn't get to disappear. I used to think this was temporary. A phase, something we'd fix. Now it feels like a rhythm. And I don't know how much longer I can live my life to the sound of a door locking behind him. At some point, it stopped feeling emotional. It became mathematical. One night, after Leo finally fell asleep and Derek had taken his last hour of the day, I sat on the couch with my phone in my hand. Not scrolling, not texting, just thinking. And then, for some reason, I opened my notes app. I started typing. 3 hours a day, morning, midday, Night. 3 times 365. 1095 hours. I stared at the number for a long time. That's 45.6 days. 46 days. Derek spends the equivalent of a month and a half every year in the bathroom. And I spend those same 46 days alone with Leo. I don't know why that's the moment it hit me. Maybe because numbers don't lie. Feelings can be dismissed. Arguments can be twisted. But math just sits there. I brought it up once. Not like a fight. You realize how much time you're gone, right? He looked at me, confused. Defensive already. You leave all the time too. It took me a second to even understand what he meant. My work trips. I asked. Yeah, you're gone a lot. I actually laughed. Not because it was funny. Because I didn't know what else to do. Derek, I travel 4 times a year. 4 days at a time. That's, what, 16 days total. He shrugged. And when I'm gone, I asked, what do you do? I call my parents, he said, like that proved something. Of course he does. Carol and Bill, 2 hours away, but always willing. Always ready to step in, to fill the gaps he leaves. I don't have parents to call like that, I said quietly. He didn't respond. Because there's nothing to say to that. The math isn't the same. But in his head, it balances. 2 years ago, we bought a bidet. It was my idea, a solution, a compromise, something practical. It came in a neat box, sat by the front door for a week, then migrated to the garage. It's still there, unopened. I could install it. I know I could. It's not complicated. I've done harder things. But I don't. Because I am so tired of solving problems that aren't mine. Why don't you just set it up? I asked him once. I will, he said. He didn't. Later, when I brought it up again, he shrugged. It's not enough anyway. I need to shower. I feel gross. I told him, gently at first, then less gently, that showering 3 times a day was probably making things worse. That his skin issues, the rash, the irritation, they weren't improving because he kept stripping everything away. He nodded, said, maybe, did nothing. The box stayed in the garage. Another solution that never became real. Sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet and I can hear the faint echo of something playing behind the bathroom door, I realize what's actually happening in there. It's not just the bathroom. It's YouTube, podcasts, videos, noise. I'm just listening, he says. But I know better. It's not listening. It's leaving. And the worst part, there are moments, quiet, shameful, honest, where I think, I wish I could do that. I wish I could walk into a room, lock the door, and disappear for 3 hours. No one knocking. No one needing me. No small voice calling, Mommy, through the door. Just silence. But I can't. Because someone has to stay. Someone has to hold the day together. Someone has to be there when Leo cries, when he laughs, when he needs help putting on his shoes or wants the same book read for the 4th time. Someone has to be the constant. And in our house, that someone is always me. So the math keeps running, in the background of everything. Not just hours anymore, but effort, presence, care. And every time I try to balance it, every time I try to make it make sense, I end up in the same place. It doesn't add up. It never has. Leo has started asking for a baby sister. It comes out of nowhere sometimes. Mommy, I want a baby sister, he said one night, completely serious, like he was placing an order. Why? I asked, smiling, brushing his hair back. All my friends have baby sisters. Of course they do. I looked over at Derek. He smiled, casual, detached. That depends on Mommy. Like it was a joke. Like it was simple. Like I was the one standing in the way. I didn't say anything in that moment. But it stayed with me. Depends on Mommy. As if I was the gatekeeper. As if I was the one holding the door closed. I'm not. I've been standing at that door for 2 years, waiting for him to show up with me. I waited until Leo was asleep. The house was quiet around bedtime. Derek was on the couch, scrolling, relaxed. Like the day hadn't cost him anything. I stood in the doorway for a second, watching him. Then I sat down. We need to talk about another baby, I said. He nodded, like he'd been expecting it. Yeah, he said. I mean, I'm open. It just depends on you. There it was again. Something in me tightened. It doesn't, I said, my voice flatter than I meant it to be. It doesn't just depend on me. He looked at me, confused. What do you mean? I took a breath. And for once, I didn't soften it. I didn't wrap it in careful language or try to make it easier for him to hear. How are we supposed to have a newborn? I said, when you're gone 3 hours a day during the hardest parts of the day. There was a small pause. Not long. Not thoughtful. Just enough for him to register the question. Then he answered, my parents can take care of the baby. It was immediate. Like he'd already solved it. Like the problem wasn't him. My stomach dropped. Your parents. I repeated. Yeah, he said, nodding. They can come help. They always do. They live 2 hours away. This isn't someone coming over for an afternoon. This isn't occasional help. This isn't sustainable. This is outsourcing. I stared at him, trying to understand what he was actually saying. Because I didn't think he even heard himself. You think your parents are going to come here, I said slowly, every day, for years, to raise our baby. He shrugged. They'd help. Help. That word. So small. So easy. So completely disconnected from reality. And in that moment, I realized something that had been building for a long time. It wasn't about the bathroom anymore. It wasn't about the hours. It wasn't even about the second baby. It was about this answer. Because what I heard wasn't just a suggestion. It was a message. I will not change. If something is too hard, someone else can do it. I had come into that conversation hoping for something. Just awareness. Instead, he gave me a solution that required nothing from him. No adjustment. No discomfort. No accountability. Just delegation. I looked at him for a long time. And for the first time, I didn't feel angry. I felt tired. Because I finally understood the math. It wasn't just that the hours didn't add up. It's that he was never trying to solve the equation with me. He was just removing himself from it. And leaving me to figure out the rest. I didn't cry when I said it. That's how I knew it was real. It wasn't in the middle of a fight. It wasn't emotional or dramatic. It was a Tuesday night. Leo was asleep. The house was quiet. Derek was sitting on the couch, half watching something, half on his phone. I stood there for a second, then sat down across from him. I'm not having another baby with you, I said. He looked up, surprised. What? He said. I thought you wanted to. I nodded. I did. There was a pause. He waited for me to explain it away, soften it, turn it into something temporary. I didn't. I wanted to with a partner who could be present for two, I said. I don't have that. That's when the defensiveness came. Like it always does. I am present, he said, sitting up now. I take him to preschool sometimes. I help. You're acting like I do nothing. I didn't interrupt. I work too, Maya. I'm tired too. It's not like I'm just doing nothing all day. He started listing things, specific moments, isolated instances of effort, proof, in his mind. I just sat there. Because for the first time, I wasn't trying to win the argument. I wasn't trying to explain the pattern. I had done that, over and over again, and nothing had changed. I'm not arguing with you, I said quietly. He stopped. I'm just telling you what I've decided. Something in my tone must have landed. Because he didn't push after that. He went quiet, confused, maybe even a little shaken. But I could already feel it, that shift. In me. The next morning, I didn't wake up when Leo cried. Not immediately. I heard him. Of course I did. My body is trained for it. But I stayed still. Just for a moment. Leo cried again. Louder this time. And then I heard something I wasn't used to hearing. Movement. Derek. It was clumsy. Slower than mine. Less efficient. I heard drawers opening. A confused, "Where is it?" under his breath. Leo's cries turning impatient. I sat up. Heart beating faster than it should have been. Every instinct in me wanted to get up. To step in. But I didn't. I sat there. And I let the morning happen without me. It wasn't smooth. Leo was cranky. Derek was frustrated. Things took longer. There was noise. A little chaos. At one point, Derek called out, "Maya," like he expected me to come in and take over. I didn't answer. I got up eventually. I made myself coffee. Sat at the table. Watched. It felt wrong. And then, slowly, it didn't. This wasn't punishment. This wasn't revenge. For years, I had stepped in before things could fall apart. And now, for the first time, I wasn't. The first few days were rough. Leo resisted. Derek stumbled. There were moments where everything in me screamed to take control again. But I didn't. Because something else had taken its place. Not anger. Not even resentment. Just clarity. Weeks passed. And things started to change. Derek wakes up earlier now. He has to. Leo expects him. The mornings are his, at least partially. Bath time, sometimes his. Not always. The bathroom door still closes. That hasn't changed. The box in the garage is still unopened. That hasn't changed either. But something else has. I'm not waiting anymore. Not for him to become someone else. Not for the door to open to a different version of him. Not for a conversation that finally fixes everything. The talk about second baby is off the table. For now, it's not even a question. Because I finally understand something I didn't let myself say out loud before. One child with a sometimes present father is better than two with an absent one. I'm not happy. Not in a neat, resolved way. But I can breathe. And for the first time in a long time, my life doesn't feel like something I'm barely surviving. It feels like something I'm choosing. Even if it's not the version I imagined. Even if it's smaller. Even if it's quieter. I take a sip of my coffee. It's still warm. No one is calling for me. No one needs me, just for a moment. And in that small, ordinary silence, I find something I didn't realize I had lost. Myself.